Now, there are people out there in the world who blames God for everything. They blame God for the absence of peace. They blame God for the violence. They blame God for the misery of human life. They blame God for everything negative. They blame it on God, like somebody who smokes his lungs away, and when he starts feeling the effects of smoking, like lung cancer or tuberculosis or emphysema or whatever it is, he starts to say, if there is a God, why did he allow this to happen to me? God certainly didn't order him to smoke. Or the drunk who cannot live a minute of his life without liquor, drinks and drinks and drinks and rolls on his vomit and blacks out. And then one day he wakes up with liver disease or tuberculosis or diminished mental capacity. Did you know that for every drop of alcohol that we drink, our brain cells, part of it, dies? So now he reaps what he sowed. Guess who he blames? God. He blames God. God is the whipping boy of fallen man. There's the term again. Tim, just what do you mean exactly by fallen? Well, fallen means that man is out of God's favor. He has fallen out of God's favor. In the book of beginnings, in the book of Genesis, in the Bible records faithfully how God created everything in the heavens, in the skies, in the seas, on land. And even those invisible, minute things floating in the air was God's creation. And they all had purposes in life. Insects were not put by God there to be nuisances or nuisances to man. They had a function in life. And the Bible records that God created man. But he created him perfect. He didn't create him evolutionarily. He didn't create him as a one-celled thingamajig that develops into something in the water and comes out of the water and develops legs. The Bible says God created Adam perfect. And that means whole, complete. He created him at that age. He was that age when God created him. He was sexually mature. He was intellectually mature. He was matured as a human being. He had the capacity of speech. He had the capacity of thought. He had the capacity to reason. And he had the capacity for emotion. God created him perfect, complete. He was sinless. There was no sin in him. In his nature, there was no sin. Everything in his nature was obedience to his Creator. Until one day, when Eve went where she was not supposed to be, and the serpent probably wasn't supposed to be in the garden either, but he was there. He was there. And he says to Eve, yeah, did God really say? Hath God said? It was an echoing, tempting question down through the centuries. So now we have people who say, whoa, I don't think God created me. I was once a one-celled amoeba. I am actually a monkey's uncle. They find it more dignified to once be an ape hanging on the trees than to have been created by the most important person in the universe, God. He has fallen. He has fallen from God's care because of that. Hath God said, and because of the next words, ye shall be as gods. If ye shall be as God. Small letter G. Adam. Oh, don't believe it. God did not want you to find out that on the day you eat of that fruit, ye shall be as gods. What did that mean? It means you can decide for yourself. It means you don't need God's rule over you. It means you don't want a God to be sovereign over you. It means you can say, this is my body. It's none of your business what I do with it. It means love is just, loving any person I want to love, whether he be the same sex or not. It means being able to shake a fist at God and say, it's your fault, not mine. It means blaming everybody else except myself. It means saying, what? Am I my brother's keeper? It means thinking, I want what he has from me. You shall be as gods. That's why there's no peace. First reason is because fallen man, unregenerate man, unsubmissive man is at rebellion and at war with his Creator. It's the ultimate rebellion, to be at war with your own Creator. That's why there's no peace. And there's no peace because man is at war with his kind. Genesis chapter 4 verse 8 reveals that change in the human character when Cain murdered Abel because he was wroth, incensed, angered at rebellion, because God chose to be sovereign and exercise his sovereignty by having favor on Abel's sacrifice and rejecting Cain's. So Cain murdered Abel. And the Bible records the first negative emotions in man. Cain was wroth. He was wroth because he was jealous. He was jealous because he was rebellious. Human nature has changed.